Umueke, a quiet village wrapped in palm trees and ancient stories. Ola stood by the path that led out of the village. His mother, Mama Nkem, stood beside him, her eyes filled with hope and fear. City life is not like the bush paths of Umueke, she warned. There, everyone wears a smile, but not all mean you well. Ola nodded. His heart was a storm of ambition and doubt, but he couldn't stay. Umueke had given him all it could, and now he wanted more. He had dreams bigger than yam harvest and palm kernel oil. Stories of the city had reached even the thatched roofs of Umueke. Stories of fast cars, tall buildings, and fortunes made overnight. He whispered a quiet promise to himself. I will return with something worthy. But as he journeyed, he had no idea the city would demand far more than he was prepared to give. The bus jolted to a stop, waking Ola from a light sleep. Dust City, the city Ola found himself. Ola stepped out cautiously, overwhelmed by the noise and the speed of the city. He clutched his bag tightly and looked around, unsure of where to go next. The buildings loomed high and tired looking, their walls stained by years of rain and smoke. This was not the city of glass and gold he had imagined. A man approached him. First time in the city? He asked, grinning. Ola hesitated, then nodded. The man introduced himself as Jide and offered to help. You need a place to stay? I know somewhere cheap. Ola followed him, finally stopping at a small lodge. The room was dark and the air musty. He handed over some money and sat on the thin mattress, trying to steady his thoughts. The city didn't feel like a dream. It felt like a maze. Still, he told himself, every journey starts rough. What he didn't know was that Jide hadn't brought him there to help. In the shadow of the dust city, nothing is ever given for free. 3 days passed. Ola searched for work but found nothing. Jide returned on the 4th day, this time with a serious look. You want money? Yes? He asked, lighting a cigarette. I can link you with something small. Just move goods from one place to another. No questions. Ola's stomach turned. What kind of goods? Ola asked. Jide smiled. Phones, clothes, sometimes documents. You don't need to know more, Jide said. Ola knew the offer stank, but his hunger was louder than his morals. That night, he followed Jide into a warehouse. Ola received a backpack and a location. Don't open it, one of them warned. Deliver it, get paid. As he walked through the dark streets, bag on his back, Ola's heart beat like a drum. After a few runs, Ola's face became familiar in the underworld. Jide gave him a new name, Kelvin. You can't use your real name anymore, he said. Too risky, too traceable. Kelvin. It sounded strange on his tongue, but everyone in Dust City called him that now. Ola disappeared behind him. He got new clothes, new habits, and a new silence. With each jab, his wallet grew fatter. He usually sent money back home under another man's name. His mother would never know the truth. He told her he was working in an office, but the deeper he went, the harder it became to climb back out. He was delivering more than bags now. He was trusted with secrets, passwords, drugs. He learned to lie without blinking, to smile without meaning it. The name Ola felt distant. Ola? No, Kelvin was delivering a pack case to a club when the police stormed in. Gunshots cracked like fireworks. People screamed. Men in dark clothes ran in all directions. Ola froze. Are you mad? Run! Jide's voice in his ear. They escaped through the back into the alley and down the drainage path. They almost been caught, almost killed. When it was safe, they returned to the lodge. Jide paced, angry and scared. Someone talked, he said. Someone is leaking to the police. Ola sat silently. For the first time, he wondered if the city would be the end of him. The raid had shaken him, cracked the fake identity he wore like a coat. Maybe the real Ola was still inside him, clawing to get out. Her name was Amaka. Ola met her outside a food store where he waited for Jide. She had soft eyes and a laugh that reminded him of Umueke. "Why are you always looking like you are hiding from the world?" she asked one day. He shrugged. "Maybe because I am." Amaka didn't pry. She listened. She didn't know who Ola really was, and he liked it that way. With her, he didn't have to be Calvin. He could joke, talk about his mother, remember home. For the first time since arriving in the city, he felt human again, but the world he lived in was no place for someone like Amaka. Ola knew it. He started saving money, thinking maybe, just maybe, he could leave the life behind with her. But living wasn't so easy, not when people knew your face, not when your hands were no longer clean. Jide changed. He became jumpy, paranoid, and started accusing everyone of betrayal, especially Ola. "You have been talking to someone," he said. "The police are too close." "I haven't said a word," Ola replied, trying to stay calm, but Jide didn't believe him. Soon, others began to avoid him. One evening, Ola returned to his lodge and found his door kicked in, his things scattered. A warning was crashed into the wall. "We are watching you." Amaka noticed the cut on his arm the next day. "You have to leave," she said. "Come with me to my aunt's village. We can start fresh." Ola wanted to. God knows he wanted to, but escaping Dust City wasn't like living in Umueke. There were eyes everywhere, and the identity he wore no longer fit loosely. It clung like a second skin. A call came late that night. "One last job," Jide said. "Big money. Then we disappear." Ola hesitated. Every bone in his body told him it was a trap, but he went anyway. The location was a warehouse near the port. He arrived and saw nothing but silence, no guards, no lights. Then he heard the click of a gun. Jide stepped out from the shadows. "They said you were leaking information," he said. "I didn't believe it until now." More men appeared. Ola spread cut. He was surrounded. "I didn't say anything," Ola said. "It doesn't matter," Jide replied. "Trust is gone." Before anything else could happen, police sirens whirred in the distance. Chaos broke out. Ola ran. He didn't stop running until he hit the highway, bleeding, breathless, heart racing. Ola found shelter in an old church outside the city. The pastor asked no questions. "Sometimes even lost sons found their way back," he said, handing him a bowl of hot rice. In the silence of the church, Ola thought about everything. His real name, his lies, his mother, Amaka. He still had a little money. He could disappear for good this time. He bought a cheap phone and sent a message to Amaka. "I am leaving the city. I will find you one day. Wait for me." Then he walked into a morning light, wearing a different shirt, using a different name, not Kelvin, not even Ola, just someone starting over. Months later, a man with a quiet eyes walked into Umueke. Children and women stared. Mama Nkem rushed out of her house, unsure at first. "Ola," she whispered. He smiled. "It's me, Mama." With tears in her eyes and joy in her heart, she welcomed her son. "At least you are alive. You are welcome, my son," she said. Umueke people welcomed Ola. Though they asked no questions, Ola didn't share everything. Some things were too dark. But in Umueke, he planted yam again. He walked barefoot on red sand. Sometimes he thought of Amaka and Dust City. He thought of fake names and close calls. But he had found peace. He had survived long enough to return to who he truly was. Life in Umueke moved slowly, but Ola didn't mind. He woke early each morning, walked the farms, and helped his mother with the markets. But something inside him still burned, quiet desire to do more. This time, he wanted to build something honest, something that would last. One afternoon, while walking past the village square, he overheard young boys arguing about selling palm oil to traders from the city. Ola listened, then stepped in. "You are selling yourself short," he said. "They doubled the price when they live here. You can do better." The boys looked at him with suspicion, but one of them, Chima, asked, "How do you know that?" Ola smiled. "I have seen the other side." With their trust slowly earned, Ola began organizing the village youths. They pooled resources, started processing palm oil together. He used the little money he had saved to register the business officially under the name Umueke Gold. With his experience from the city, even the dark parts, he knew how to deal with buyers, negotiate prices, and avoid scams. Within 2 years, they were supplying oil to supermarkets in different cities and beyond. NGOs offered support. Banks gave them small business loans. Ola trained more youths, expanding into cassava, then cocoa. Ola and his team made a lot of money. Him and his group of company has decided to bring development into Umueke, to put joy in the hearts of Umueke people. The dream city that Ola had been imagining came to reality in Umueke. The villagers were so happy and grateful for what Ola has done, the development he has brought to their community. Ola finally got married to Amaka, the love of his life. Mama Nkem never ceased to be grateful to God. He has changed their story from worst to the best. Ola finally was wealthy, not just in money, but in peace. People still called him Ola, though some now added chief in front, and every time he passed the road where he once walked away with a small bag and a big dream, he smiled because this time everything he had was real and legit.